Hello, welcome to Andertons TV. My name is Jack Duxbury, he's the Maltese Falcon. Woo. And most importantly, this is...
Chris from Casio.
Oh, Chris, thanks so much for coming, mate.
Good to be here, good to be here, thank you.
What are we going to talk about today? I understand we got 7 things.
7 things, because I know you've done some great videos on this instrument already, but what I thought we'd do is we'd go into a little bit more detail about some of the things that are inside it. We'll talk about sounds, we'll talk about some of the controllers.
Yeah.
You know, things that you want to use on a sort of regular basis. You know, how do you get things like the arpeggiator to work? There's an arpeggiator in here and stuff like that.
Well, we've got all those down below with chapter markers, and quickly, because we're being told to do this, please consider liking and subscribing. We're giving away some keyboards, right, Falcon? 100,000, and we've got a whole series of videos on the Casio, but without further ado, let's get into it.
Cool. Number 1 is hit pianos. So on here, for the first time, we have not only the standard piano sounds, but if you touch the piano button again, you've now got preset famous piano sounds. So, you know, like if you listen to a song and you hear a piano track, it's not just a piano, it's the way it's recorded, it's got like effects on it and that sort of thing. And there's so many times you might sit down and go, oh, I want to get that particular sound. So the idea with these is to try and get some of the famous piano sounds and EPs from pop music. That's the idea. So first one up is Image Piano. So we can't quite exactly say exactly what it is for legal reasons, but Image Piano, it gives you this sort of sound. So it's like a chorus type sound on it. To sort of, you know, recreate that famous upright
In the comments
sound.
below, let's see if we can get
Have a guess what that might be. There are others on here as well, so
there's loads. This really caught our eye when we got it out of the box.
Yeah.
And it seems like something you think, if you're new to buying a piano or you haven't bought one before, you think, surely other keyboards do this.
Yeah, piano's a piano, right?
You get loads of presets, but the idea of going after specific tunes is actually new.
Yeah. Yeah, so as far as I know, I don't think anyone's really done this before, and it makes a huge difference. So, your piano. Nice sort of sound there. Let's have a look at some other ones. Oh, okay, rhapsodic piano. So. Go on and on.
I love it because even if you're not wanting to play the song, if you're a songwriter, it's cool to have a sound that's already so evocative of a famous recording.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's not until you go through some of these, you know, you've got this one here, the Insane Piano. It gives you...
the compression, the brightness.
Absolutely, absolutely. So even, you know, even though it's the same piano sample, there's so much work they've done to
let's have a few of the electric pianos as well, because they really...
Okay, so this one.
Bang on.
So just the way, and you know, the right amount of phaser, sort of all those effects that go with that sound. Awesome. It's all there. It's all there.
Hit pianos, it's a new thing from Casio. Like everything to do with this piano is new, it's cool. Let's go on to number 2.
Number two. Okay, number 2 is the live controls on here. So over here on the left-hand side, you have got a series of buttons. Now, it depends what sound you have selected. So we talked about pianos, we talked about e-pianos. Let's go into the others category. So you've got things like clavs here, and if you go through it a bit more, we've got organs. So pretty much any patch that you'd want to use, you'll find some really nice examples in there. But say like if you're playing an organ, that type of thing, you want a rotary control on it as well.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so just press function, touch a button there, and what you can now do is you can assign that button to, at the moment it's modulation, but what you can do if you want is change that to rotary. So now,
have to hold this, or is it a switch?
No, it's a switch.
It's a switch.
Again, it depends upon. So if it was
because
modulation,
when I used it last time, I remember it did like it was a momentary switch.
Yes, that's right.
That's cool. Because I'd never seen anything like that on this. You see it on synths sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
Momentary LFO, I think they call it.
Yeah, you do. So yeah, I mean that's just using those controllers as a rotary switch, left or on or off. You can do modulation with it as well. You can do arpeggiator.
And EX1 and EX2?
So they're the same sort of thing. So if you wanted,
all programmable. Hold it, function,
press it, and you got on the screen there. You can do whatever you want with it.
Falcon will put some sweeps. They got the coolest mod wheel ever made. It's like a Philips Hue light in a mod wheel. Right, now on to number 3. Let's do it.
It is. An arpeggiator. So it's a digital piano, but we've got arpeggiators in there. And you might think, well, surely that's, again, what you're saying earlier, that's more of a synth type thing. But with the arpeggiator on here, they've put some extra sort of patterns in it, and useful if you are using something, want to get into creating your own songs, if you like to make your own music and that sort of thing. So what we can do is, first of all, let's go into the arpeggiator.
I had a lovely jam on it when I got it out of the box.
It's
with
good.
Some piano. It was doing non-standard things to me.
Yeah. So slightly different than you normally expect an arpeggiator to do. So we've got some sort of more piano-style type arpeggios, if that makes sense. But what you can do as well is actually, we've got a section here that says recommended setup. And what that does is it when you choose the pattern, it changes the patch to make the best of that pattern. So there's quite a few here. Let's just go through and find it. So chord phrase. Just play a very simple chord like that. Make sure the arpeggiator is switched on. That's always a good thing. And you can...
And that changed the sound to that.
Yeah.
That's again another way to think of it. Arpeggiator first, and then...
Yeah, arpeggiator first. Lots of other settings on here as well. So we've got, more synthy type things, arpeggiators, patterns that just have, sort of... that type of thing.
Sorry,
it's a lot of fun. And again, you don't have to worry about going in, you found the pattern, now find the patch, it's there. So, hopefully it's going to make things a lot easier if you want to create your own music and that sort of thing. It's not just synth type stuff as well. Again, some very interesting, when I was going through this, some different types of phrases that you wouldn't normally, and styles
I'm not good at. I saw like Latin piano there. What's this one?
Latin piano. This is low string phrase. Right. So this is like, down here you've got, let's switch the arpeggiator on first. And then, as well as that, you've got the piano on the top. So, you can do that.
I get you.
Yeah. So, lots of different
fresh new arpeggiator.
Fresh new styles, thinking of it in a slightly different way.
Cool. On to number 4. We're going to high five this time.
Number 4. So number 4 is basically the way you operate this is very different to other PX-S pianos we've done previously. So with this one, obviously you've got the screen, you've got this lovely touch wheel here, which, by the way, works either as like a jog wheel type thing, where it will follow your finger around like that, or you can either just touch it on, it's like 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, you see, and you'll go through like that. So it works really well. Down here, we've got 4 buttons. They're marked F1 to F4, and they're essentially shortcut buttons. So you can pre-program these with your favorite often used functions. So earlier on I was using it to do arpeggiator, but if you want to, you can maybe swap the arpeggiator for another function. So just hold down the function button, press the F1 key, and then you can actually go through all the different functions on the keyboard and actually do something else with it. So it basically means you don't have to always go through the menus. Again, if you've got like you're always doing something. Say if like you're a vocalist and you want to put reverb, or you want to change the effects on your microphone, You can set this up so that you have one of those buttons, just touch it once, and you can go straight into mic reverb, for example. So it's
Very
a really,
cool.
really good way of doing things. Some of them as well, with some of these F buttons, they're actually quite interesting because things like a split point. So if you wanted to say, so if you want to split the keyboard like that, okay, but you want to change the split point, if you hold down that, it'll actually go straight into split point. So again, no menus, it's straight there. So a lot of the functions that we would use on a fairly regular basis, they're all available from the panel straight away. It's not into menus and that sort of thing, which is quite cool.
Nice, and it points to this idea that you can set it up for gigging. I'm interested in, we've done other videos where we've got the posh stand set up.
Yeah.
But that's a real powerful, and it's changing per preset as well. So you've got different, if you've got a different number where you need to hit a different thing, that's cool.
Yep. Well, don't forget, this is, you were saying about gigging, this is a portable piano. You know, it does come with a stand, comes with a pedal board, but you don't need the pedal board to make it work with, you know, for damper control. You can put in your own sustain pedal. Casio do a freestanding 3-pedal unit that you can put instead of. So if you want to take this gigging, it's only, I think it's 14.8 kilos.
And you can run it on batteries, right?
Batteries, 8 AA batteries. You know, depends how loud you have it, but it'll give you about 4 hours plus. So you can really play this pretty much anywhere you like. And there is a bag for it as well. So there's a gig bag. If you want to gig with it, you can.
I bet that's a good looking one, because the dust cover's sexy enough on its own. Anyway.
It is.
This idea of it being a gigging piano, I think after this video, we should have them out by now where we're comparing it to some other stage pianos, because I really think that's something to look at, especially when you, it's the flagship model now, right?
Yeah,
this
flagship model.
So it can do a lot more than just sitting at home and being beautiful.
Absolutely, it can. There's one below this, which is a PX-S7000. Very, very similar design. Changed a little bit of it. So with the 6000, the controllers over here, you've actually got rotary control knobs instead of just the buttons. With the 6000, you've got more control over the actual effects and the tone controls. So if you're someone that likes to take a sound and really fine tune it, maybe you want to add more reverb or change that cutoff frequencies, basically any synth parameter that we know, with the 6000, it's in there straight away. With this one, you can still do it, but you have to have the Casio app as well.
Right.
You can't do it through the panel. So the 6000 is more like a sort of synth controller. Same key action, exactly the same design, but a little bit more sort of fine control.
Hopefully that gave you an idea of all the bits that I didn't show off when I got it out of the box. And look out for other videos, because we got you here for the rest of the day, thankfully. Thanks so much for being here, Chris. Thank you, Falcon, for doing this. And thank you for watching. Normally, I would escape by pressing a demo button, but I need not when I have Casio's demo dude, Chris. So if you could play us out, that'd be amazing. Okay. Thank you, mate.